A mysterious and horrifying story had taken birth in a dense forest, where even the rays of the sun hardly reached. Within this forest, there was a small village named CANNIBAL. The people here lived in a strange silence and fear. No one knew what this fear was from, but everyone knew that some invisible danger was lurking around them. The elders of the village said that somewhere deep inside the forest, there was a cave where the cannibal man lived. No one knew what his real name was, but he was so powerful and dangerous that anyone who saw him never returned. People used to say that the man was a cursed soul who was blessed with immortality, but his hunger was never satiated. His hunger was not ordinary. He craved human flesh. Initially, these were considered just stories, but after some time, people of the village suddenly started disappearing. Every Amavasya night, some man, woman, or child would mysteriously disappear. People would lock themselves in their houses out of fear, and no one from the village would dare to venture out at night. One day, Arjun, a young man from the village who thought these stories were just superstitions, decided to find out the secret. He took some friends with him and they set out on Amavasya night in search of the cave of the cannibal man inside the forest. As they entered the forest, a strange cold and heaviness began to be felt. There was a strange smell in the air, as if of something rotten. Arjun and his friends gathered courage and kept moving forward. After some time, they saw the mouth of a deep cave. A cold and heavy wind was coming out from there. Arjun stepped inside the cave with his friends. There was a dense darkness inside the cave, and a strange dampness was felt. Suddenly, Arjuna felt as if someone was looking at them. He turned back, but there was no one there. Then a horrible sound echoed, as if someone was screaming from deep within. They realized that they were trapped. The sounds grew louder, and as they moved deeper inside the cave, a horrifying sight appeared before them. There inside the cave were innumerable skeletons scattered, some recent and some many years old. Suddenly, blood started dripping from the walls inside the cave. Arjuna and his friends tried to run away in fear, but the mouth of the cave suddenly closed. Just then, a horrifying figure emerged in front of them. It was the cannibal man. There was a strange madness in his eyes and blood was dripping from his mouth. The man moved towards Arjuna, and Arjuna looked into his eyes. The man was once a human, but now he had become a living dead. His soul had never found peace, and he had fallen prey to this painful hunger. Arjun breathed his last, and the forest that echoed with his screams fell silent once again. No one in the village ever saw them again, but after their disappearance, the villagers knew that the new moon nights of the Kali Van had become even more dangerous. The cannibal was no longer alone. Arjun and his friends were also a part of the same curse, and every new moon night, they would go out in search of new victims. The Kali Van was no longer just a village. It had become a living jungle waiting for death. It is said that even today, no one in that village goes out on the night of the new moon because they know that something terrible is waiting within the darkness, a hungry and immortal cannibal man.